What's up, fight fans? Welcome to my channel. This is Johnny, and in today's video we're going to be going over the statistics that nobody talks about when mentioning this weekend's title fight at 140 pounds between the champion Teofimo Lopez and the challenger Arnold Barboza Jr. Before I continue, I want to say thank you to all the new subscribers. Thank you to everybody who's been with me since day one. If you haven't already, could you please hit subscribe? My YouTube analytics are telling me that almost 75% of you guys who watch my content haven't done this yet. Also, please like this video, and at the bottom of the screen, hit the bell notification button so you can be notified every time I put something out that's new. Let's get into this. When this fight was signed to be part of this Ryan Garcia-Rolly Romero card, I was super excited. This matchup is highly intriguing. Those that maybe are just more casual boxing fans might look at this, and you could read some of the comments of some of the people breaking in this fight down and thinking that just on paper, Teofimo Lopez is the more popular guy, the more experienced in terms of a high-level championship rounds guy, that he's just gonna dog walk Arnold Barbosa Jr. He's the Las Vegas favorite. So in this video, we're gonna beg the question. We're gonna break down these fighters side by side. We're gonna talk a little bit about what they've been up to, how they go about their business, and stay tuned to the end of the video. We'll go over those odds, and I'll be giving you my prediction. Boxing fans know about Teofimo Lopez, the takeover. They know about the physical attributes that he brings into the ring, his athleticism, his enigmatic personality, the Teofimo show. A Teofimo fight week is exciting. It's filled with ups and downs, a lot of things that are unpredictable, that the media won't know what he's gonna say, his fans don't know what he's gonna say, and it's similar to his fight style when he gets into the ring. His fight fans, the pundits, you really don't know what version of Teofimo Lopez you're going to get. I feel that's a great way to sum up his career thus far. He's still only 27 years old. He's a young guy just entering his physical prime. He is a world champion. When we think about Teo, we think about his performances against Vasily Lomachenko almost 5 years ago. But then you gotta then start again with what he looked like against George Kambosos Jr. But then again, what he looked like against Josh Taylor. This up and down sort of trajectory. His most recent version of himself, I gotta admit, I'm not really loving what I'm seeing. We last saw him against Steve Claggett in Florida. We know Claggett's a Canadian who on his record has a loss to Matthew Germain. Germain's the French-Canadian who just went into the UK and lost the decision to Dalton Smith. I don't really like playing boxing maths. I'm just highlighting the point. Teofimo won a decision with Claggett, but it wasn't a perfect victory. He didn't win every round. Claggett won rounds, and I thought it was closer than the judges saw it. And then the fight before, he fought a very skilled Jermaine Ortiz. And once again, we really didn't see a highly motivated Teofimo Lopez. We didn't see the guy who fought Josh Taylor. Granted, Jermaine Ortiz, in my opinion, is one of the most underrated fighters at 140. He's one of my favorite fighters to watch. He's very technical, very wise guy in there, and he's very crafty, and he has a high fight IQ. And it was a tough fight for Lopez. Granted, Lopez got the victory, but he didn't look his best. So going into this Barboza Jr. fight, he's gonna have his hands full. We last saw ABJ go into the UK as a big underdog, similar to what he is now, and beat Jack Catterall. We covered that fight, we previewed that fight. You guys called me crazy in my prediction when I took Barboza Jr. to beat Catterall, and then afterwards, we know how that fight went. With Arnold Barboza Jr., this is a guy who brings into the ring a chip on his shoulder every time he fights. He feels he's been overlooked his whole career. He feels that the time hasn't happened yet for him, but only the good news is that the time is now right out of his mouth. What better time than right now to become a world champion? He's never been defeated, and he's a slick boxer. This guy goes in the ring with kind of one of these boxers, nothing jumps off the page in terms of his physical attributes. He's not gonna be the biggest dude, he's not gonna be the fastest dude, he's not gonna be the strongest guy. He doesn't have one punch knockout power, but what he does really well are all the little things. His pressure, his endurance, his jab. He knows how to cut off the ring. He also has a fighting mindset that is unbreakable. It's one of my favorite things about Arnold Barbosa Jr. is the psychology he brings into a fight camp and a fight. You will not break this guy, and I think that's what makes him an undefeated fighter thus far and what makes him so hard to beat. Before we continue, we have to remember the champions at 140. Teo has the ring belt. You have Alberto Puello. You have the newly minted Gary Antoine Russell and the young Richardson Hitchens. So the winner of this fight will stake claim. Teo already knows that in his head he's the top dog, but if ABJ could go in there and upset Teo, he puts his foot right in the middle of his reign at 140 pounds. Right now, I want to take a closer look at what's at stake this weekend in New York City. Guys, Arnold Barboza Jr. doesn't respect how Teofimo Lopez promotes his fights, nor the way his rival behaves away from boxing. The WBO interim junior welterweight champion admits that Lopez has ascended to his prominent position in the 140-pound division for a reason. Barboza doesn't see pound-for-pound prowess in Lopez, however, and can't envision their 12-round match May 2nd becoming as difficult an assignment as oddmakers and most experts think. He feels that these people don't know boxing. 2 months removed from another impressive performance on the road, an increasingly confident Barboza believes he will upset Lopez as part of the ring's Fatal Fury, City of the Wolves pay-per-view event in Times Square. Lopez, who's 21-1 with 13 knockouts, is listed as approximately a 2-1 favorite by DraftKings to beat Barboza, who's 32-0 with 11 knockouts. But Barboza is certain he will leave the ring with his unblemished record intact, and I quote, "I think he's an athlete," Barboza told the Ring. "I think he's athletic, but I'm also athletic. It's going to be a great fight. I think he's athletic. I think he has some good traits, but so do I. You know, as a fighter, you got to give props when props are due, right? I don't think he's anything special. I've always said it. You know, I think people think he's going to beat me, but I'm going to come out with the upset. I think I'm going to make it one-sided, and people are going to be surprised." Lopez is 5-0 since Australia's George Kambosos Jr., then 19-0, upset him by split decision in their 12-round lightweight title fight in November 2021 at Parks Theater in Madison Square Garden. 2 of Lopez's victories during the winning streak were debatable, though. Spanish southpaw Sandor Martin, then 40-2, dropped Lopez once and probably should have been credited with his second knockdown in December 2022 at Madison Square Garden. Lopez still edged Martin by split decision in their 10-rounder. Lopez's second appearance as a full-fledged junior welterweight. The Brooklyn-born Lopez soundly defeated former undisputed 140-pound champ Josh Taylor, then 19-0, in his following fight to win the ring and WBO 140-pound championships. Another significant underdog, Jermaine Ortiz, tested Lopez in his first defense of those titles, but Ortiz, then 17-1-1, lost a 12-round unanimous decision in February 2024 in Vegas. Barboza's back-to-back victories over former WBC WBO 140-pound champ Jose Ramirez and top contender Jack Catterall have elevated his status in the division during the past 5 months. The El Monte, California native definitely outboxed Ramirez, whom Barboza beat by unanimous decision in a 10-round bout November 16th at NAB Arena in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. Traveling to England to face Catterall resulted in a 12-round split decision win against the British southpaw February 15th at the Co-op Live Arena in Manchester, which earned Barboza his temporary WBO belt and led to an opportunity to finally oppose Lopez, a former unified lightweight champion. Teofimo Lopez, like we already talked about, is a guy that really is unpredictable both in and out of the ring. We've watched him at times box beautifully, and we've watched him at times make some questionable decisions. He uses a lot of feints with his body, with his feet, and sometimes he forgets to throw punches and enters the pocket a bit recklessly, and he always looks to use his athleticism to make up for his shortcomings in terms of his boxing technique. Now with his opponent Barboza, this is quite the opposite. Barboza is a technical guy who's going to keep a high guard, who's going to use his jab to enter the pocket, and he's going to look for those mistakes that Teofimo Lopez often presents to his opponent, but often gets away with due to his athleticism. Right now, I want to take a closer look at the challenger, Arnold Barboza Jr., and see what he's been up to. Guys, Arnold Barboza Jr. is 32-0 with 11 knockouts. He carries into the ring a 34% career knockout to win ratio, and out of 2,684 super lightweights, he's ranked number 4 in the world. He is the WBO interim super lightweight world champion. The 33-year-old American is an orthodox fighter standing at 5'9" with a 72-inch reach. He hails from Los Angeles, California. We last saw him fight Jack Catterall, 30-1, won a split decision in the 12th. Jose Ramirez, 29-1, UD in the 10th. Sean McComb, 18-1, split decision in the 10th. Najeni, 31-3, stoppage in the 8th. Pedraza, 29-4, UD in the 10th. With Barboza Jr., he doesn't have one-punch knockout power, but he has enough power to get his opponent respect. and this is where his boxing comes into play. He sets his backhand up with his jab. He moves his head nicely off the center line, and he's always working angles. His pressure is fun to watch, and fans of the sport of boxing will definitely enjoy watching Arnold Barboza Jr. if you've never seen him fight before. This is a guy who's going to go in there with a game plan. He's going to execute the game plan, and no matter how far or how down he feels he is on the cards, you never see him give up on himself. You never see him frustrated in the corner, and I think going into this fight, that's going to be a huge feather in his cap that he's going to take into the ring in his quest to defeat Teofimo Lopez. Now let's look at the champion. Guys, Teo is 21-1 with 13 knockouts. He carries into the ring a 62% career knockout to win ratio, and out of 2,684 super lightweights, he's ranked #1 in the world. His adoring fans know him as the Takeover, and the 27-year-old American is a 5'9" orthodox fighter with a 68-inch reach. We last saw him fight Steve Clagg at 38-7, UD in the 12. Jermaine Ortiz, 17-1, UD in the 12. Josh Taylor, 19-0, UD in the 12. Sandor Mortin, 40-2, split decision in the 10th. Pedro Campo, 34-1, stoppage in the 7th. That Pedro Campo fight in 2022 was his last stoppage victory. Teo's athletic, he's explosive, he has power. He could get away with a lot of things in the ring that a lot of fighters can't, and this is why he has a huge fan base. He's electric. He's great on the microphone. Know his persona. He's one of these guys that is perfect for boxing. Every generation you have guys like Teofimo Lopez. The issue with him when you're thinking about where to bet your money at, and this is where when I look at these guys side by side, it's something that doesn't jump off the paper. Teo's going to be the more athletic. He's going to have the physical advantages. He's going to be quicker. He's going to be stronger. He's going to have more power. What Barbosa Jr. will have, he's going to have the height advantage and the reach advantage. I give the boxing technical prowess to Arnold Barbosa Jr. I also give the fight IQ to Arnold Barbosa Jr. I've watched both of their careers. I've seen Teo in the corner arguing with his dad, arguing with his coaches. I've never seen that in Barbosa Jr. Teo does have his true blue fan base who are going to cheer for him no matter what, and so does ABJ. But we know on this channel, we're trying to predict winners based on what we see in their careers and not by the boxing fandom. Right now, let's take a closer look at Las Vegas and see where the bettors are putting their money. Guys, remember, I'm down here in Australia. My book is called Sports Bet. What we're doing from here on out is we're going to cover the money line odds. Stay tuned to the channel at the end of the week. We'll be doing our weekly live stream with pro boxing bettor Muscle Brown. That's where I'll be going over my prop bets. Right now, the money line odds for the fight, Teofimo Lopez is $1.44, meaning you put $100 on him and he wins, you get your money back plus 44 bucks. The draw 17-1. ABJ sitting at $3.05. Put 100 on him, you get your money back plus 205. So right now the bettors are putting all their money on Teofimo Lopez to beat Arnold Barboza Jr. He is sort of the sexy pick regarding his name, his brand, what he does in the ring, what you've seen him when he looks at his best, and what his resume states. He has a victory over Vasily Lomachenko. He has a victory over Josh Taylor. These are undisputed world champions. Arnold Barboza Jr. can't claim that. I'm putting my money at when it comes to my prediction. This may shock a lot of you guys. This shocked you guys when I picked him to beat Jack Catterall, but I'm picking Arnold Barboza Jr. to upset Teofimo Lopez. I don't think the odds should be as far. I think this is more of a 50-50 fight from a boxing perspective and the technical side of things, and as a boxer in the ring in terms of making adjustments, using their jab, setting traps, winning rounds, and scoring points. I give all of that to Arnold Barboza Jr. I think he's going to do and execute all of those things. If you're putting your money on the guy who's more physical, more athletic, more flashy, and does the more eye-opening combinations, take Teofimo Lopez. But this is a 12-round fight. The belts are on the line. Psychology plays a big part of boxing. I don't talk about it ever, and a lot of you guys don't know. My undergrad, my bachelor's degree is in sports psychology. So when I break these fighters down, and when it comes to my prediction, a lot of times if it's close, especially two guys like Teofimo and ABJ, I have to lean in on the mindset sort of things. And I don't like what I've seen over his career with Teofimo Lopez, how he gets frustrated. There is no room for error in this fight at the highest level, and I think that's also going to be a huge advantage for Arnold Barboza Jr. I'm taking him to leave with the belts. In the comment section below, this is not an echo chamber. How do you see this playing out? Is it business as usual for the takeover, or will Arnold Barboza Jr. leave with the belts? Let me know. Also, guys, if you haven't seen my breakdown, analysis, and prediction of a fight that's going down in Saudi Arabia on the undercard of Canelo and Skull between Jaime Munguia and the Frenchman Bruno Ceres, the rematch, stay tuned to the channel because that's coming up right now.